Have you ever served time? Have you ever known anybody that has served, an extended length of time, not just a day, but I'm talking months, years behind bars? Do you know anybody like that? Everyone will agree that serving time is it's an awful place to be. It smells, it's constantly loud. Everybody there is, always, at a heightened alert. Tensions are always high. It's not some place that anyone wants to be. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that every single person who has been convicted of a crime needs to be, sentenced, and they need to serve out their time. It's a lot easier though for your loved ones, who may ever be behind bars. It's a lot easier for them to do their time if they have a support network on the outside. But not every inmate has that. Not everybody has, a support network like Josh Duggar, whose parents will make damn sure that they load his inmate account up with money constantly to keep him, somewhat protected, to keep him safe, to keep him, well fed and groomed while he's behind bars. I don't expect Anna to be able to do much, for him financially behind bars, but she has decided to stick with him. So, what would it be like if there wasn't anybody there financially on the outside to be able to put money on Josh Duggar's inmate account, his phone account? And what would it be like for an inmate who didn't have that support network? What would they do in order to get by inside of the actual, jail or prison or detention center? Because Josh Duggar's in a jail now, and which acts as a detention center to while he's awaiting sentencing to go to federal prison for his crimes. And yes, I know, I work closely with the Innocence Project, and I know that there are people who have been sentenced to lengthy sentences, have done 10, 20, 30, 40 years behind bars for a crime they never committed. And it must be doubly hard for them if they didn't have a support network to know that you're in prison to do that long of a sentence for something that you didn't do. But today we're looking at what is it like to have to do time, and how do you get by, in particular, if you don't have anybody on the outside to financially support you, and if you don't have a job, because every inmate who comes into prison or jail doesn't get a job, and every inmate who is sentenced to a lengthy sentence is not guaranteed a job. So, what do they do? This entire list of items has been supplied to me via the Prison Network, which is a website where inmates who have served lengthy sentences are going through, and they're using it as a support network while they try to get jobs, housing, and such on the outside after trying to turn over that new leaf, trying to make a go of it on the outside. And so the prison support network helps those out there who need and want that additional, someone to kind of direct them to what they do. Because you have to remember, a lot of inmates immediately upon release, they give them, either the money that they have on their inmate account, or they give them a debit card with maybe $50 on it and say, there's the door. That's up to you now. In most of them, they're not allowed to live in, subsidized housing, Section 8 homes. They can't live, in what you call welfare controlled apartment complexes or, anything at all. They're barred from getting further in their education by getting Pell Grants and alike, dependent upon the crimes. But now in prison, how do they get by if they have no finances? They have nobody to help to support them, and well, they don't have a job when they first get there. it comes boils down to you got to hustle. You got to hustle until you can find and get a job in prison or jail or wherever. If you don't have that support network, and these are some of the things that former inmates have said that they've done, or they've seen other people actually do. Do you have any kind of art skills at all? Can you draw pictures? Inmates, they don't have a commissary where anywhere that I have been able to find online, in online commissary or commissary sheets, where they can buy gift, like birthday cards, Christmas cards, anniversary cards, stuff like that. They can't find them, so they have to make their own. The inmate wants to send a card out, happy anniversary, to his wife, on their anniversary. Please don't forget me. Don't run off with Jody. Don't forget about me at all. That they need somebody to make those cards for them. Can you paint a picture, or draw a picture on a piece of paper, some kind of artwork, something that I can put in this letter to mail out to my wife? But draw a cartoon, make some kind of artwork, do design work for a card, any of those three, types that will give you some kind of hustle, to maybe you can, I'll do some artwork for you in exchange for a ramen noodle, or I'll do some artwork for you for a cup of coffee, something. You got no money and none of that stuff's free. Next, how about write letters to inmate wives, appeals, responses to the court? Can you write poetry? Do you have any kind of writing skills, at all? If you can do that, you can be a great benefit to a lot of inmates, because a lot of inmates don't have exactly what you call the highest of education levels. So if you can help, write an appeal, take what the inmate is saying to you, write it down on paper for them so they can hand it to their attorney, so they can express exactly what they need or want to say in court, or evidence that they want to, question. If you can help them out that way, that could be a really good hustle. Back to the artwork though. Can you make designs? Pieces of paper, with an ink pen, and draw out designs. Tattoo work. Can you draw tattoos? Something that somebody would want to permanently put on their body. Some kind of artwork that way. If you can, if you can make it realistic, or if you can make a really cool design, that's something that can be traded, bartered for, to get you anything from ramen noodles. You might even get yourself a cup of coffee and a blondie, or a couple other sweet treats on top of that. Do you have any other skills? Can you sew, or can you do box stitch work? Can you make jewelry from thread, where they weave it all together and they make everything from bracelets to necklaces. They make all kinds of things, out of it, and they'll take apart an entire sock, and then 2, 3, 4 strands together, spin it, and make it into jewelry for other inmates. If you can do something like that and you have that skill, that is a very, worthwhile skill to have. Have you ever done tattoos before? Again, we're kind of, going back and forth here on the first part on art, because art's, something that a lot of inmates really appreciate. Have you ever done tattoos before? How about pick and poke? Pick and poke is basically they file down a staple or something really fine so it's sharp, and then they'll take plastic and then burn it, and then they'll put it over like a piece of cardboard or paper here, and then burn it so the soot rises and gets up on it, and then they turn that soot into actual ink. And with a little bit of lotion or petroleum jelly mixed in with it, it makes tattoo ink. And what they do is then they put that piece of staple on a pencil or a pen, and they and make an action that's kind of like a tattoo gun would, but they call it pick and poke, pick and poke, pick and poke, pick and poke, pick and poke tattoo. Or do you know how to make a tattoo gun? If you can get the supplies, a motor and everything else, and rubber bands and stuff to make a tattoo gun, wow, you got yourself a real hustle here and a real job. course, all of that's contraband, and it'll get you more time. But if you can hide it and get it, it's even better. Next one, and you may not like this, but pornography. Um, any type of pornography, either nude women, nude men, and sadly, and in Josh Duggar's case, in the housing unit that he'll end up in federal prison, child pornography. If you can get pictures like that, you can rent them out. Any type of pornography. There's going to be other inmates who are into men, and they're going to want pictures of nude men. And if you can get some pictures of nude men or nude women, whatever you can get, if you can get it, even children, and you rent it out to them, and you can figure out why they would want the pornography. Okay, I'm not going to get into that part, but that's what they, and you rent it out. The inmate will, I'll give you 2 ramen noodles, and a bag of coffee for a picture for the next week, whatever it might be. And they have some really bizarre requests because people are into a lot of weird stuff out there. Next one, kind of gross, but how about laundry? Are you any good at doing laundry? Can you scrub the skid marks out of another man's, tidy whities? Can you do other laundry? Can you, hey, Kirby over there, he got his ass beat last week and he got blood all over the place, all over his clothing. We cleaned it all up so the guards didn't catch us, but we need to get that blood out of that clothing. Can you scrub that blood out? Take it back to the shower and scrub it out. Get that blood out. Do you know how to do that? Doing laundry that way, because otherwise, they just throw the laundry into a basket, and basically, it's a big bag. It's most prisons, or they take it and they have to put it in a bag and then give it to the guards, and then they get it back. But doing laundry, can you do anything like that? You want to be a lookout? Me and a couple of the guys, we got a good scheme going on. While everybody's out on the poker tables, or playing cards, man. They're not watching their shit all that great. Can you be a lookout? Be a lookout. Just kind of stand there, and alert us, whenever they're coming back, or be a lookout for when the guards are coming. You keep an eye on that door. You see that the guards in the tower making a move towards that, that the control to open the door here. You let us all know that the guards are on their way. For any reasons, either for robberies, sexual assaults, whatever. They have people that they actually pay them to be a lookout for a gang, or for a robbery crew, or for whatever reason somebody might need a lookout for. Another one is you came in with a couple of personal belongings and stuff. Have you thought about gambling those items? You can, if you can find somebody who'll take those as a wager on something. Maybe you came in with a bunch of notebook paper, or a legal pad, and somebody needs a legal pad. Maybe you can, hey, I got an entire notebook pad here. Got 2 pieces of paper missing out of it. Anybody want to take this as a wager? You wager it on something, and pray that you win. They might always say the notebook pad's only worth 50 cents. That's worth a ramen noodle, or not even, maybe 2 ramen noodles. It's worth that. At 26 cents a piece, it's worth a little bit less than two ramen noodles. Have you served time before? Do you know how to get a hold of things? There's a lot of things out there that people need. Do you have a connection with somebody from the kitchen, who can get us a bell pepper, or an onion, or something else? So while we're here, locked down in our pod, our housing unit, that we can make a swole or something like that, which is everybody gets together, kind of like a potluck, and everybody brings in, puts in something, and they make one giant meal for everybody to share. It can be everything from what they call prison burritos to pizzas to you name it. but can you, so if we can get that an onion or a bell pepper or some fresh tomato, if they can get that, do you have connections to somebody who can get us something out of the kitchen like that? That's a way, a hustle you can have to, get yourself something else. Maybe get yourself some coffee or some tea or cocoa or something, to help, get make the time go by easier. Are you any good at gambling? Are you any good at gambling at all? Can you help somebody run a parlay or a, sports booking, venture? Hey, Super Bowl's coming up here. When one guy in a housing unit of 100 guys, it takes a lot for one guy to hold down and keep track of all that. Can you help that guy, run the bets, and who says that they, I'll put, give me 10 on, whatever team's going to be in the Super Bowl. They got playoffs games in between now and then. That person's busy. That's his hustle, is the gambling. But if you can help that person out and they want to help, maybe they'll give you a little something and kick you, hey, you want a bag of coffee for that? And for helping me out for the next month, great. I'll put you down on the thing for helping me out. And then you get that that bag of coffee when they get their next commissary order. The hustle. You gotta hustle, and you gotta keep on hustling. While you're out there on the outside, before you got caught, man, did you have, something that you did that made money or made you really good at something? Maybe it was like you knew how to grow, 50 pounds of, marijuana on one plant. It is the biggest, gnarliest freaking bud, plant you've ever seen in your life. Did you know how to do that? Can you teach me how to do that? Do you know how to make methamphetamine? I wanted to step up my drug game. Tell me what does good meth look like, and how do you make it? Who can you put me in contact with? I'm getting out in 6 months. I want to get back in the game. The inmates, give me a connection. Teach me something. That could be worth something to another inmate. You can teach them something so that can be useful to them. I mean, not a lot of inmates are getting out and saying, you know what, I want to, get my GED and go to college, and become a rocket scientist. Some of them, they're just stuck, in that proverbial, system, the revolving door of the jail, the revolving door of disappointment, everything. I mean, and I don't want you to get this the wrong way. It's extraordinarily hard to ever get out of that system. Some do make it out, but a lot are stuck in that system forever. Some want information on how to make it step up their game, just a little, or a lot, up there on the streets. Can you tell me when I get out of here, man? The guy who snitched me off, man, I'm gonna take him out. Where can I get a piece? Meaning gun. When I get out, man, I have like 150 on me. Can you put me in contact with somebody who can get me a piece? 38 special, simple, bang, bang, drop it and run, because it's a disposable gun. Hey, how you doing, Josh? So what are you in for? Oh, yeah. Did you tell your lawyer about that? No? Well, tell me more about that. So you knew someone who was into the same thing as you at another car dealership in town? Well, I'm just out of curiosity, what was his name, first name? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's cool. What? Oh, he's on another TLC. Oh, Sister Wives. Oh, he's on that show? Oh, okay. And he's into the same thing you are, Josh? Oh, that's cool. That's called jumping on their case. You learn the ins and outs of that person's conviction, or them prior to their conviction sentencing, like right now, while Josh Duggar is actually in the actual detention center there, jail. You learn about their case, and you call it called jumping on their case. You then learn as much as you can. Then you go to the guards, and you go through the guards. You get a hold of their attorney, and then you say, they confess to me. This is what I know. You give them a little tidbits so they believe you, and then you ask for a reduction of your sentence or something to be put on your books. in exchange for you testifying or getting them to, take a harder sentence. It happens a lot. And they will jump, even if you've been convicted, if you get into prison or your last stop, they'll jump on your case in a heartbeat. Hey man, he confessed to me. He killed 4 other people out there. Yeah, Samuel, Mr. Little back there. Yeah, Mr. Little told me where he put another 8 women. They'll jump on a case like that and try to confess that, Samuel told them that. But first they got to get Samuel to talk to him. Well, not Samuel Little. He's kind of dead, but got a lot more victims out there than we know about. Next is just straight off snitch to the guards, man. Become an informant to the jail, prison, or wherever. You just got to keep it on the low. Say you need to go to medical, and then as soon as you're in line to go to, they take you to medical or dental or something. And before you get there, you go, I just need to talk to, the warden or somebody. I got some information about what's going down inside of my housing unit, or I got information on another one. The guards are willing to listen. They'll pull you aside someplace and talk to you, about it. You just got to make sure that nobody else knows that you're snitching for profit or for nothing. But people do it all the time. They'll rat each other out, man. There is no lost love, in the jail and prison system. Next one is, a lot of lonely people in jails and prisons across the world. Can you help me find, someone to write to? Give me, you have a sister? Do you have another sister? Oh, Josh? How many sisters you got, Josh? Well, hook me up with one of your sisters, man. I mean, you've known me for a couple of days now. Hook me up. Give me the address. Get your sister on the horn. Next time you're on the phone, have them put, you're talking to mom and dad. Ask him, what little Jill's doing. Put Jill on the phone. Let me talk to Jill. I want to talk to her. Yeah, man. I'm down with that, man. You got some what? You have some sisters, friends of your sisters. Hook me up. Give me a pen pal from outside. Yeah. I'll write them a letter. You didn't take it and stuff it in your envelope and get them on my approved inmate contact list. Man, I need somebody to talk to, man. If they could send me some pictures too, that'd be great too, man. Get them on the phone. Hook them up with a pen pal or someone to support them financially from the outside. It's the biggest con that's ever happened inside the bars. Women on the outside think that they're talking to one inmate, and that one inmate is only talking to just them. It happens more times than you will ever imagine. And according to what these guys have told me, and what I've talked to them and they've told me in person, is that it happens so much you wouldn't believe. The straightforward guy you thought who'd been the loving husband and raised like 3 children, and only thing he's ever done wrong was he got drunk and he got charged with vehicular assault. He got 6 months in jail. The moment that sucker is behind bars, he gets lonely. He's going to need someone to talk to. The wife can only come and visit him once a month, but hey, James over there, his sister, man, she's single. She's 58. You're sick. He's 61, so close in age. Well, I know she's not the best thing to for him to look at, but you know what? She's available to come every Thursday. And that one time a month when the wife comes, she don't come on Thursday. She comes on Tuesdays. Wow! Now you got 2 people, supporting, dear old daddy behind jail. When he's in jail. It happens a lot. All right, next. Yeah, turn tricks. There's more than one way to turn tricks other than selling your ass, and you can use your mental prowess there to figure out how somebody else may turn tricks without selling their ass. Okay, but for those who think that it doesn't happen, I'm sorry to tell you, but I've talked to people from who've done time in just county jail less than a year, and they've done it several times and been sentenced to just less than a year. In total combined 8 years, 6 years, 9 years, but a year here, year here, year here, year here, but they never actually went to the state penitentiary. I've talked to people who've been in the, the next level up in the lower class, penitentiary, levels of security in a penitentiary, who did 5 years, 7 years, 10 years there. I've talked to people who've gone all the way up to the level 4, the maximum, superior, level. It happens at every single level. And every single level says the same thing. People tell on the outside say it doesn't happen. It happens every damn day here. Don't even tell me it doesn't happen, because the people who say that it doesn't happen are the people who've never been in here. It's scary just how the people are like, hey, it's not like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, or what happens in jail stays in jail. No, these people are like, yeah, this happens. It happens everywhere. You get people, a bunch of men like this, the weakest one on the ladder, man, is always going to be the one that's extorted, abused, or taken advantage of. Every time. It's just like a pack of wolves. You take a pack of wolves, the injured one's always going to be the one's going to be forced out, beaten on, or do all the dirty work. Can you cook and clean for others? That's a hustle where you could probably, get a little, cup of coffee or something here. Yeah, man, can you clean my cell, scrub my floors and walls and stuff? Do my laundry, do whatever you can. Cook and clean for me. I'll give you all the stuff, man. Make me something out of all this. What's the best thing you can do with these ingredients? Cook me something. Become their maid. Their bitch, as they call it, and that's exactly what I have on my notes. Is they call it, be my bitch. Sorry for my language, but that's exactly what it's called. Next ones are easy. Beg, borrow, and steal. If you can't get something, man, you got to steal it. Next one on the list is, how about you beat someone who's lower on the ring than you? Beat them and take their stuff. Beat them, and just keep on doing it until they either fight back and they give you, enough of whooping back, or you just keep on doing it and say, look, give me what you got on your commissary. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on coming back and beating your ass. Next thing and last one on the list is beg for anything. You see an inmate on the way out, getting discharged, going home. Maybe he did it, 10 years, 5 years. It doesn't matter if he has a pair of socks that he doesn't want anymore, or a half-eaten Snickers bar, something. Beg for it, man. As they're packing everything up and getting ready to leave, hey man, all those pictures on the wall, you want those? How about those books? How about that, notebook, pad? Give me something. If I got to get by. And inmates will help each other, especially when they're leaving and they don't have any plans on ever coming back. But we all know from the recidivism rate, a lot of them come back. So that's what a lot of inmates do if they don't have a job. They don't have anybody on the outside to help them financially support them. And, they have to hustle. They have to do something to get by, because prison is a pretty miserable place. Jail is a pretty miserable place. And it's not meant to be Club Med. I mean, we all want them to be punished, and even those who've been wrongfully convicted, of crimes, they understand, man, this is what the system is. This is what it's been like for hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's the way it's going to be. It's only getting worse. It's never getting better. And so that's what people do. They got to hustle. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you want to check out more of my content, I would, suggest you do. I'll try to put a playlist up here at the top, or one in the description of this video here. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe.